Hey there, it's Kristen. For those of you following along, today is day 9 of our 30 Days to Living Well Essentially challenge. For 30 days, I'm sharing with you ways you can change your mindset and your habits so that you too can be living well essentially. Last week we focused on habits and how to change our thought patterns and our behavior patterns in order to change old habits for new and healthy habits. And this week we're using some of what we learned to change our mindset in regard to food and nutrition. So far we've identified our limiting beliefs in regard to nutrition, and we've developed a nutrition. Today we're going to talk about triggers in regard to food and nutrition. So exactly what is a trigger? Basically, triggers are anything that can set you off emotionally. It can be a memory or a reminder of an event. It can elicit feelings of anxiety or sadness or depression. Feelings surrounding a trigger is our brain's way of protecting us from the thing that is making us feel the way we do. Why then does taking on a change in diet, nutrition, or lifestyle trigger feelings of anxiety, vulnerability, or being overwhelmed? The answer to that question is really actually pretty simple. It's because by committing to a new diet, nutrition plan, or lifestyle, you're doing something that is going to require you to change your behavior. And remember, behavior is nothing more than patterns or habits that we've acquired or established over time without thought as a response to the triggers throughout our life. And the reason this feels like a huge undertaking is because your focus is on the wrong thing. You're focused on the person you are now in relation to the person you want to become. And so depending on how large of a gap that is between who you are now to who you want to be, that can determine the level of anxiety and nervousness that you may feel. It's why so many people throw in the towel before they even get started. They feel like this is too big of an undertaking. Ironically, as I was trying to determine how I would address triggers and how to change our response to them, I opened up YouTube, and the first video that popped up was one where Mel Robbins addresses this very same thing with one of her listeners. Mel Robbins is the author of the book, The 5-Second Rule. And so I want to share with you a 2-step process that Mel Robbins shared with her viewers in regard to overcoming the fear and anxiety to weight loss. Step number 1 is narrow your focus. Get as narrow as you need to get in order to feel confident and better about this undertaking, even if that means focusing on one meal at a time. And the way you're going to do this is by writing down all the triggers that make you eat, all the triggers that make you do the unhealthy choice or make you eat the unhealthy foods. For instance, do you like a mid-morning snack? Do you like to eat when you're feeling anxious, stressed, or vulnerable? Do you like to eat afternoon snacks? Do you eat out of boredom? Do you eat mindlessly while watching TV? A big one for a lot of women, especially moms, is do you sample everything off your kids' plates? So basically, you're identifying all the areas where you are not following your diet or nutrition plan. Then step 2, use Mel's 5-second rule to control your behavior in regard to the triggers that you just identified by implementing the if-then planning method. And this method is so easy. For each of the triggers that you identified, you are going to write a statement of intent. For instance, if you eat because you're tired, then you're going to write, if I am tired, then instead of eating a snack, I will. And then fill in the blank. I will take a quick walk. I will stand up and stretch. I will drink a glass of water. So that way, the next time you go to reach for a snack because you are bored, you will use Mel's rule and you will count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to do one of the actions you stated in your intention. When it comes to following a diet or nutrition plan, it's usually pretty black and white. You have the list of what you can have and the list of what you can't have. And the reason the diet or nutrition plan isn't simple to you is because of how you feel about the change and putting in the work. But by following this 2-step process of 1, narrowing your focus, and 2, implementing the if-then process, you can change your behavior and thought patterns in regard to food and nutrition so that you too can be living well essentially. So our day 9 challenge is you're going to write down your food triggers, and then by each food trigger you're going to put down your if-then process, your if-then statement. Okay, so join me tomorrow as we continue to talk about food and nutrition, because we're gonna dive into meal planning and prep.